Oh, welcome to another episode of A&M Political Views. I am your host, Aviance
And I am
Watts,
Michelle Tyson.
and today we have a very special guest. Actually, he is the chairman of the Muskegon Democratic Party. We would like to welcome Mr. Ryan Bennett. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's nice to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
Likewise, likewise. How's your weekend going?
It's going, man. I mean, it's crazy. Can't get out of the house too much. I don't know. I didn't really realized how much I missed eating out at a restaurant until you can't
Tell
do it
me about
anymore.
it.
So
Yes, yes, tell me about it. But well, I mean, I think
I'm
they're going to
sick of
lift.
takeout.
Uh, tell me about it, because actually, I think aren't they going to lift the
January 12th.
no, lifting it Monday.
No, January. It got extended.
Oh, you got
Not for restaurants. There's some different restrictions. There's some of them things are being lifted come Monday, but the restaurants are still going to be on lockdown probably till after the holidays.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof.
Yeah, I miss Kazumi, so
I
I miss going out to eat.
I do like Kazumi.
Kazumi's in Olive Garden and my Applebee's for my dollar drinks on the afternoon.
There you go. My kids and I, the family, we all love Kazumi with the catch the zucchini in your mouth and then the
Yes.
sake spray. That's the way to
Yes.
go, man.
Yes. I love my sake. Okay, so let's get back on track here. But thank you for joining us today. And also, can you just give a little bit of a brief background what the Democratic Party does, especially the Muskegon County branch? A lot of people don't know what the Muskegon Democratic Party does and who all who all is involved and what the community involvement is. So can you give us a little brief background description?
Sure. The Muskegon County Democratic Party has been around since about the 40s. And what we do is, we try to get Democrats elected to public office throughout the county, focusing on obviously state level races and higher, but really focusing on county level races and down, making sure that we've got good candidates up and down the ballot, and trying to make sure that we're recruiting new talent to run for office and trying to recruit new people to just be engaged in the political process. A lot of people understand that they need to be involved in politics, but just don't really know how to go about getting involved. And so hopefully the new leadership at the county party will help bridge that gap.
That's great. Now, can you tell me exactly who determines who sits on on those seats to run those parties?
So the county Democratic Party, according to the bylaws, there's a slate of officers that will get elected, that recently just got elected by a county committee, a committee that's comprised of local Democrats. They will select their board of officers. There was no opposition for our slate of officers this time, so it wasn't a contested convention. We were the only slate proposed, so there wasn't an actual vote. We were kind of appointed or elected by unanimous consent.
Okay, okay. And also, what plans does the Muskegon County Democratic Party have in store for the next 6 months?
So what we've recognized already with our leadership is that we've got to have a larger presence. So a lot of people know that there probably is a Muskegon County Democratic Party, but they don't see them. They don't know how to engage with them. They don't know how to get a hold of anybody. So you're going to see a big push for us on social media, a big new shiny new website, and a lot of things that are going to be obviously, with the pandemic, it's going to be difficult to hold in-person events immediately after the first of the year. So we're going to be looking to do a lot of things digitally. We're going to be expanding our email outreach, and trying to make sure that we've got correct and accurate email addresses for a lot of the people. Those things kind of get washed over. You get an email address from somebody that's 6 years old and you have no idea whether or not they're actually receiving that communication. So really
Right.
focusing on what the things we can control right away and making sure that we get the message out to as many people as possible.
All right. Well, that sounds like y'all are headed in the right direction. Definitely. Definitely headed in the right direction. Now, can you tell me what what plans do you guys have on diversifying the Muskegon County Democratic Party, just like Biden did?
Yeah, so we're reaching out to all the community groups. We recognize that the Democratic Party isn't as diverse as it needs to be. It doesn't look like it represents the community.
Right.
So we're really trying to focus on the areas that put in the work. I mean, you look at what the city did and the Heights did in this most recent election. I mean, they were out there. They were putting in the work. They're doing doors at the end there and doing outreach, and they had a huge turnout. And quite frankly, they're the reason why Donald Trump didn't carry Muskegon County. And so we're going to
Right.
try to capitalize and harness that energy and make sure we can carry that in not only to some midterm races here, some local races that are going to be coming up next year, but also into 2022 when we have to try to reelect Big Gretchen, the slate of wonderful women we have in Lansing right now.
Yes, yes. Definitely got to get her back in. Definitely. That is a must.
Now, do you agree with a lot of the when she does a shutdown? Was there any ever a time where you didn't agree with when she did the shutdown?
Yeah, I mean, it's always tough. I feel awful for the small businesses and especially the restaurants. I mean, it's been hard on everyone, but I, I think she listens to the people that are experts on the subject. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think she's shooting
yeah.
from the hip here. I think she's taking the advice of people that have studied epidemiology and global pandemics for a living. I mean, this is what they do. I wouldn't like someone to come and tell me how to weld pipe or something on a job site, like what I do, what I've donated my life to.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think you got to listen to the people that study this stuff. And it frustrates me when people say that, Governor Whitmer's doing this and she's doing that. And she's following the science, man. And that's what you have to do to be a leader in a
absolutely.
situation like this, I think.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
So, can you what plans does the Muskegon Democratic Party um have to help support the urban areas, since they are basically the ones that help keep the Democratic Party rolling? What plans do they have on helping the urban community?
That's a great question. The first thing that we need to do, and the thing that I'm focusing on as chair is I don't know how to do that. So I'm reaching out to people that are already doing the work in the urban communities and asking them to help us so we can have a more presence there, so people know who we are and we don't just show up around election time begging people to vote. I mean,
Yes,
we've got to be
yes.
partners in the off season here in order to really build these relationships that are going to help when we do need to go win an election or we do need to show up and protest something, that we
That's
have
right.
a community, a grassroots sort of network that we can rely on to turn some people out.
That makes sense.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm really looking forward to see how this turns out. I think this is definitely a step in the right direction, because the smaller urban communities, they do look at that. They're like, okay, we get out here and we vote, but what's in it for us? That we still living in the same poverty.
Conditions.
Nothing changes. So they like it kind of deters them to vote if they don't see change. So this is the perfect opportunity. I think this year's election, it was a step in the right direction for everybody, especially in the Democratic Party. I really do. And I'm really hoping that you do great things for the Muskegon County Democratic Party. And yeah, I see you going in the right direction. So I really hope to see you do wonderful things. And I have you have my support. Whatever I can do, I'm ready to help you. Um, so, can you tell me, how does a person become a member of the Muskegon Democratic Party?
That's a good question.
So in order to have voice or vote at a Muskegon County Democratic Party meeting, you have to be a member of the state party. So if you go to the Michigan Dems website, you can become a member there. And then county party membership is more of a fundraising thing. So we're going to ask people to join the Muskegon County Democratic Party, make a monetary donation, which we'll turn around and use to help get Democrats elected. But in order to be involved and be a voting member, you only have to be a member of the Michigan Democratic Party, or you have to be a precinct delegate. Either one of those will give you voice and vote at any Muskegon County Democratic Party function.
Now, when you go on the website, do they have to donate, or do they is there membership fees when they go on and apply?
Yeah, there's several different levels of membership for the Michigan Democratic Party. I don't think they're very expensive, $20 or less for a year for a certain level of membership. And you can just go to their website and click on the donate button or the sign up button, and then they'll take you to an ActBlue site.
Okay.
Simple enough.
Yes.
Yeah. The Michigan Democratic Party doesn't do a great job of telling you when your membership expires, we found. So we found a lot of people that we knew were Democrats that weren't current on their membership dues during this last election when we had the election for the county office. And so it's something that hopefully the Michigan Democratic Party gets a little bit better at.
Yes.
How long have you served on the board as chairman?
We just got elected, so the outgoing board, we're in the transition now. We won't actually take office until the 1st of January. So we just went through the process. I had served in the past as first vice chair of the county board, and I've been involved with county politics for, I don't know, over a decade.
Yeah, I was going to say, now, was it your grandfather or your father that was also?
Yeah, my dad served as a county commissioner in Muskegon Township, and then was the state rep for the 92nd district back in the early 2000s.
Oh, so you grew up in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been a political conversation around the dinner table at my house for a long time.
Very interesting conversations when you're young, aren't they?
It is. And my dad he's always been a guy that, says what he thinks and has always, tried to go to bat for working people. He understands that, working people are getting the short end of the stick right now. The wages aren't keeping up with inflation, and it's tougher to live that American dream, that middle class rung to that ladder. The middle class is getting further up there, man, and it's hard to stay on that once you get up there.
Yes, it is. It's like when you hit middle class area, you be like, "Whoo, okay, I finally made it."
Yeah, right. I don't have to panic about where groceries are going to come from next week. I mean, it's crazy. And you look at, back in the day, you used to be able to walk out with a high school diploma and go get a job at a union shop, whether it was Dana, whether it was Brunswick, whether it was the paper mill, and you used to make middle class wages right out of high school with a diploma. Yeah, and you can't do that no more. You can't even do that with a 4-year degree in a lot of places.
Yes, people think it's so easy, but it's not. Even, I don't care, you can have 20 degrees, you still got to sit up there and apply and wait the process. It's all a process. So yes, it is very hard.
And I don't think people even retire anymore. Do people even retire anymore?
No,
I mean, I'm not being funny as far as not questioning the work ethic. I'm just saying in general, because it's not jobs being held for 30 years and, anything like that anymore. So
yeah, there's no defined benefit pensions. I mean, pensions are almost a thing of the past. Everybody's got a 401k, and those things can tank as soon as the market tanks. And then you find yourself, thinking you're going to retire next year, and then the market dives and you got to work another 5 years to make back what you lost.
Yeah, and then they up the age, because at one point the retirement
he just upped it
was
to 55. That was his last little sneaker to run. 55. I was like, wow, are you serious? Yes.
No, it's 65.
No, I thought it was 55.
No, it used to be, it went from 62 to 65, I think.
Oh, yeah, 65 is Medicare age right now.
Oh, yes, Medicare, okay. Social Security. That's what he just did. I know he did something.
Yeah.
Before he left out of there. Okay. So, how do you guys plan on keeping the momentum up? Because the election it got everybody going. It got everybody interested in politics, even still up to right now because of what's going on in Georgia right now. So everybody's still, waiting the process to see how things are really going to turn out for real at the end. So how do you guys plan on keeping that momentum so people can still stay interested, especially like we were just discussing, the middle class and the lower class that really came out and actually got out to vote, and also those first time voters.
Sure. Yeah, that's going to be a struggle. That's always the struggle is, everyone's really excited November, December, even into
Mhm.
January with an inauguration. And then,
Mhm.
how do you stay in front and keep that same level of enthusiasm in May or in June
Mhm.
or in an off
Right.
season? So, and even now where you can't have an event, it's going to even be more difficult. So hopefully, we'll,
Mhm.
we'll, we'll have some digital communications. We'll hold meetings and group meetings on Zoom. What we plan to do is energize the committee level. So you have the board of officers, and then the bulk of the work and the ideas we're hoping will come from committees,
Mhm.
and then finding those people that were already engaged and involved in that last election, and then listening to them and seeing what they think the Democratic Party should look like where they live, and
Mhm.
then giving them the resources to go out and make that happen. Make sure that we are able to solidify and build on those relationships that these people already have in the communities. And I think,
Mhm.
a big precinct delegate uh, revamp of an engagement from a precinct delegate standpoint, where those people, are your neighborhood liaison to the Democratic Party. So if we have a smaller army of precinct delegates, man, we can get a lot of work done and make a
Yes.
lot of contact, with very little bit of effort. If everyone has their 20 people that they need to go talk to, that they
Mhm.
know they need to turn out for an event or turn out to go vote, that's a lot easier than, the board sitting up there trying to contact 2,500 people.
Right.
Mhm.
That
Mhm.
that that is totally correct. That's wonderful. I really appreciate you coming on our show today and shedding light to the Muskegon County's Democratic Party and what actually our community can do to help you guys and what you guys are planning on for the next 6 months. I believe that the community needs to hear that. I believe that they need to constantly hear that and see the faces of
Mhm.
those people behind it. And this is a start right here. So thank you for allowing us to do this and to be able to spread the word out there to our community. I really appreciate it. I really do.
Absolutely, man. Anytime. I appreciate you guys having me on. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I think these political conversations that y'all are having are a great idea to keep people engaged around issues that matter in their own community. And that's what democratic politics should be about. People,
That's
the
right.
best politics are local, and we got some great local elected people here, but we need to make sure we stay in front of them and they understand what our ideas are.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, exactly. And you know what? It takes people, like you who grew up in politics it and understand that what they did back in the day doesn't apply to the future. And I'm glad you have that foresight to see that. And I really appreciate that. And I think the Muskegon County will appreciate it also once they see you and hear your ideas. I really think they will appreciate it. So, like I said before, you totally have my support. Whatever we can do to help you out, just feel free to contact us. Whatever information you need to get put out or wanted put out in the community, feel free to post it on the page. I'll make sure it gets out there. If I have to tag everybody, I'll make sure it's
Oh,
out there for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, after we get rolling here after the first of the year, we'll have a new website up. So I'll be sharing that information. You'll be seeing a lot more of us on social media. So stay tuned. We got a lot of work to do, man. We were really close to being a Trump County. We got to make sure that don't ever happen again.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Because I seen so
Yeah.
many people just broad chested with their Trump signs. I was like, oh wow,
Mm-mm.
they had no shame. And when I seen them, even after Trump left, they was selling his memorabilia all down Grand Haven Road. I said, oh wow, really? I mean, they had a truckload of stuff. I said, oh no, that's when I really said, you know what? No, I can't stay quiet. I gotta really make some noise because this is not gonna happen.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I never seen somebody so proud of something that said "Make America Great Again" that was made in China. That never made no sense to me. You got your red hat
That's a
saying "Make
good
America Great
one.
Again" with a China sticker on it. Get
Yes.
out of here with that.
But how many people, they don't realize that though. You're totally contradicting yourself and they just don't realize it. But
Sure.
that's a Trumpster for you though.
I hear that.
Well, okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we look forward to seeing you again and having you again on our show.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
too.
You too. Happy.
Nice to see you.
You too, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
You did.